The world
Looking
too.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Good look.
guys.
You can't legislate for who you fall in love with. You
Huh? I think I'm the luckiest guy alive.
What's the hardest thing? Hey, and welcome to Floss and Talk. I'm Kersti Flo. I'm an entertainment reporter, and this is my channel where I talk about what goes on behind the scenes of celebrity interviews. I've been doing them for over 15 years. And I'm based here in Hollywood. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do and hit the notification button so you don't miss an episode. Earlier this week, I posted a video with my favorite female Hollywood stars to interview. And it got so much positive feedback, and I'm so excited about that because that means that, you know, positive content can also have success on YouTube. So I've been talking a lot about my bad experiences, and I'm so happy that I can mix it up with also my positive experiences and people that are interested in that too. I realized after I posted that video that I probably forgot to mention a few names. One of them is Amy Adams, another one is Dakota Fanning, another one is Kate Winslet, and gosh, there's so many, Emma Stone, Jennifer Lawrence. So there, I just added a few more. But anyways, since I did this about the women, some people were commenting that, oh, you should do it with the male stars too. And I realized, of course I have to do that. And then I went through all my interviews and thinking like, who are my favorites and what were those magical moments that I had with male stars? And I realized I've interviewed so many more male stars than female stars. So that says a lot about Hollywood. I think 75% of the stars that I've interviewed have been men. That also means that it's been a lot of really nice experiences. And when I was trying to count all my favorite ones, the list just became longer and longer. So I realized I have to make a 2-part video. So this is the first part, and then I'll post the second part in a few days. So make sure that you hit the notification button so you know when part 2 is coming out. Okay, so first of all, this is a random order. It doesn't mean that the person that I mentioned first is my all-time favorite, although it might. But okay, so let's get into it. If you watched my video with Nelson, my colleague, my entertainment reporter colleague, I talked about this guy there. His name is Tom Hiddleston, and I had the most magical experience with him because I didn't know much about him the first time I met him, and I was like, Tom Hiddleston, well, you know, it was for a movie called Crimson Peak, and I was told beforehand from a publicist that don't ask anything personal, and I was like, oh no, one of those people, you know, ugh, boring. And I got into the room and I asked him, because it was like a horror movie, but it had some like romantic aspect to it. So I did dig a little into the romance aspect of the film, and the conversation turned into this really deep conversation about love, about falling in love, and he was just so charming, I think. So another thing I liked about this movie is the romance back then. It was so easy to fall in love. You can just look at someone and then you're like, we're in love.
That doesn't happen to you now?
Not every day.
Not every day.
No. Do you think it has changed? Was it much easier before?
Oh, I think falling in love is the same as it's always been. I think it's as surprising and shocking and chaotic and beautiful as it's always been. I think you can't, the heart is uncontrollable. You can't legislate for who you fall in love with. Okay, so yes, Tom Hiddleston is pretty amazing. And then I met him 2 years later and he remembered everything. How have you been?
I've been good.
It was a while back. I was just about to start this then.
That's like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember because Crimson Peak released in October 2015, and I went straight from New York to Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to start this, yeah.
Okay, it's Kersti Flo. Today I'm covering for Hungary. I'm a bit all over the place. I'm from Norway, but anyways.
I know. Yeah.
You know that too.
I remember, you told me, I think.
Okay, my second on this list is Mark Wahlberg. Mainly because Mark Wahlberg always remembers me too, and that's very flattering for me, of course. Also, Mark is kind of guy you can walk into the room and you know he's going to answer everything you ask him. He can look a little, you know, moody or whatever. He doesn't always have a big smile on his face, but he's just so relaxed and he has such a good sense of humor and he always delivers, and I love that about him.
Good.
Good.
Shasta, you want to slate that for me,
Like a
please?
Christmas sweater.
I had a black sweater on, but they said I was blending into the background too much.
Oh,
How have you been?
I've been good. Last time for The Gambler, I think.
I
Yes.
was thinking about my visit to Norway.
Oh, did you go?
Not since then, but I went when I was younger. So I did take a couple of selfies. Selfies probably one of the worst inventions of all time. Certainly in my lifetime in the last 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's good to
I
see
appreciate
you
it.
again.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for making me think about.
Then we have the most charming man I've ever met, Jude Law. Oh my God, I remember doing the junket for that movie, and he was, I mean, I remember the women coming out of the room interviewing him, and they just dropped to the floor. They were like, I've never met a more charming man in my life. And it was funny because I was talking about this list with Magnus, my boyfriend, and he was like, do you have Jude Law on your list? Because he's so charming. I mean, this guy is just beyond. Oh wait, so actually,
Well, I've just seen the feathers on your jacket.
Yes, I was trying to do like a theme thing.
It's gorgeous.
Thank
But it's
you.
it's
That
very
is
like
cool.
what's the, I forget his name. What's the character in our film who turns into he's got like
The one with the big.
yeah he has the black feathers, right?
I forget his
Kai. No, I was like,
Green is quite the world
it's
too.
looking good.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Good look.
guys.
So it's a
Well
Wizarding
played.
World
Well played.
look.
And then we have another British guy on the list called Colin Farrell. Colin is one of those men. I've heard stories about him when he snapped at interviewers because he can get annoyed. But there's something about him that's so honest and he's so vulnerable and he's not afraid to show it. And that's why I also think he's such a great actor. And I had the most amazing interview with him. I don't know, you just want to give him a really good hug. So do you like, or did you ever like the fame part of this industry?
I've enjoyed it plenty of times, absolutely. Yeah, when I was 22 or 23 and I arrived in Los Angeles and it all kind of went crazy really fast, I certainly availed of certain opportunities that were presented to me. But yeah, there was a time and place for it.
Then we have another guy on this list that I was really scared of interviewing because I thought he was, I don't know why I thought so, but I think maybe because I watched so many of his movies and he has this tendency of playing like this guy who doesn't give a hoot and is more or less, it's not a bad guy, but I don't know. I just felt like this guy is going to be difficult to interview, but he was not. Billy Bob Thornton is such a sweetheart. And I remember he was paired with another female actress, female star once, and she was being kind of rude to me. And he kind of saved the whole situation. And he was being so nice. And I was like, oh, that was a bit of a surprise for me, actually. And then I also interviewed him for another movie when he talked about how he is so scared of being around rich people because he doesn't even know how to hold a knife and a fork in front of them. Yeah, no, I really like him.
I live in the woods, you know. I'm not much on socializing in big groups.
Yeah, I think you said something too that you feel uncomfortable about rich people and important people.
Rich people make me nervous, yeah. Yeah, they really do. They always have. I don't know which fork to use for my salad, still don't. And don't really care. As long as I get it in me, I don't really worry how it gets there so much.
And now a controversial guy. Obviously, I've talked about him before, but I really love meeting Johnny Depp. He's one of those people who's so present, he's so respectful. He gets out of his chair to greet you and gives you a hug. He's just, you know, I don't know, he's so real. And I feel so sad about everything that happened with him and Amber Heard. And I don't want to get into that divorce. And as I said before, I don't know what happened there. I don't think anyone really did except the two of them. But as a person that I met in a professional setting, he was just pure lovely. Oh, where did he come in from?
Medicine, China.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a hardcore.
China, and then New York, and then here. Yeah.
Are you a little bit shy, you think? Or?
I'm very shy.
You are?
Yeah. No. If I can be accused of anything at all, I'm not the most outgoing and boisterous of people.
Okay, and this guy, I was such a fan of Miami Vice growing up. So when I heard I was going to interview Don Johnson, I was like, yes! Oh my God, I can't wait to meet him. I had no expectations about what it was going to be like, but I sat down and this man is, oh my God, how charming, how nice, how warm, how open, and so excited. His enthusiasm for just talking about it. I remember I mentioned that he had a 70th birthday coming up and he was just like, yes, I'm the luckiest guy alive. And he was just so positive. And I love that. And you have a big birthday coming up.
I have a big birthday.
Are you excited about that? Does that make you nostalgic?
I am, actually. I am. I mean, this one is, I didn't get, I'll be 70, and I didn't get overly excited about 60 or 50 or any of those things. 70 is kind of like one of those where you go, nice. And to feel like I feel. And to feel, still feel 16 years old, and I'm physically fit, and I'm mentally sharp, and so, you know.
Good for you.
I think I'm the luckiest guy alive.
That's fantastic. Okay, and this guy might be the nicest guy in Hollywood. I've met him probably 10, 15 times. Matt Damon. Always so sympathetic, always so nice, so sincere, always, you know, willing to talk about anything with you. He's so welcoming, he's so sweet. I even once made him speak Norwegian. I gave him a note. There was this TV show in Norway called Scum, which was a teenage show, and they had all these slang words, and I was going to see if Matt Damon could speak Norwegian, because he just went to Norway to shoot a movie there, called Downsizing, by the way. And he did his best, and it was so funny. Dritkult.
Dritkult.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Serr.
Serr, huh?
And then hooka dere.
Hooka dere?
I say what
Give
you
it to me one more time.
Det vors.
Det vors.
Hos deg.
Hos deg.
På lørdag.
På lørdag.
Kødder du?
Kødder du?
Fuckboy.
Fuckboy.
That's good. Okay, that means a guy that fucks around.
A fuckboy.
And then another guy I've talked about recently here on my channel, Charlie Hunnam. Oh, just like, first of all, he seems so intelligent and he's such a good actor. And he's been in so many shows and a lot of movies, and none of them have really made him a big star yet, which I think he deserves. And I even met him on a red carpet once, and he stopped for me and he spoke to me for like 5-10 minutes. I've never experienced that on a red carpet. So this guy is completely 2 thumbs up.
I'm not on social media, so I'm sort of, you know, unaware of this thing that people keep telling me about, that I'm like developing into like a sex symbol or something. I mean, it just seems a bit silly to me, and I don't really put too much stock in it.
Then another guy who is also known for being Hollywood's nicest guy, Hugh Jackman. Always such a sport. I think some of you saw the interview that I did for Les Miserables when I was singing questions, and Hugh Jackman was one of those who really went for it, and he loved it, and he's always been, you know, such a sport in all interviews, and so open and honest and so friendly. You just feel like when you sit down, you just feel like, oh, I can relax now. He's just going to be the nicest guy, and everything is going to be perfect, and I'm going to get exactly the interview that I want. I read somewhere that you exercise. What did it say? It was something about how you manages your anger or whatever. Do you have any tricks on how to always be nice to people? Because I never heard anyone say anything bad about you.
Really?
Yeah.
You just haven't done enough research. I can give you a list right now if you want, but it's funny, I was talking to my mum last night, and she came to the premiere and she was like, oh, all these people saying how nice you are, and I said, that's just manners. We just brought them up well. Isn't that just manners? Pretty much. Now I think maybe manners untaught, so people go, oh, this guy's so nice, and I was just like, that's just how I was brought up. I think sometimes I'll feel like, you know, grumpy or whatever, and then I try and hide it because I've got my kids, you know. I don't want them to see me acting with a stranger because then they'll think, well, you act like that, so I can act like that, you know. So I don't always feel like doing it. None of us do, but, you know, it's sort of probably the better way society should work, right?
But you meditate a little bit, don't
I
you?
meditate twice a day.
Twice a day.
That's that. For about the last 25 years I've done that. That has made a big difference to me. That helps a lot.
Then another British guy, Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne, I remember the first time I interviewed him, which was for Les Miserables actually. He talked about how much he's usually is blushing. He's just so, like, a little socially awkward, and he owns it. Oh, that was Oscar, my dog. And he owns it. And also an amazing actor. So many actors are on social media these days. Why are you, like, not, or staying away from it?
Too subconscious. Like, it's difficult enough these days to be present in life anyway. Like, we're all sort of looking down so much that I feel like there are people who are wordsmiths or great photographers who it just comes to so easily. I would spend like hours going, oh, do I really mean that? Or also to kind of like, if someone says something that I disagree with, I'd be too quick to respond. And I just think in this world we need just to breathe a bit and think before you respond. So I would be bad at it. But I think a lot of people are brilliant at it.
And lastly, The Rock. I spoke about him before here on my channel, and when he told me that the easiest thing in this job is to be nice to people. And he's also one of those guys that are just completely there and so present and has the energy to like lift up the ceiling in a room. You come in and he just fills the room. It's very rare that you meet people like that has such an enormous presence. And that's not only because he's a big guy, but he just has this thing about him. And that I'm very, you know, it makes so much sense that he is so successful and gets so many parts and so many people wants to work with him, because he is such an easygoing guy.
He has two small daughters.
And he doesn't change diapers?
No, of course not. No, I do. I change his daughter's diapers too. I change it.
You do?
I do.
This is ridiculous.
I'm a Renaissance man.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Please, people.
So, what is the secret to like a quick diaper change?
Oh yeah.
Is there
quick diaper change?
I would love to hear this.
No problem.
Yeah.
Both legs. Grab my hands. Lift it up.
Yeah.
Clean. See, the problem is he goes back to front. I try to tell him,
how
don't do
dare
that.
you.
You got to go front to back. Front to back. Clean. Make sure the other diaper's already underneath there before you remove the solo diaper. Clean. Down. Bang. Bang. Onesie.
I can't
Boom,
even.
Bang. Good night.
He's doing this. Great. Thank you so much for seeing.
Thank you. It's so good to see you. And thank you again for the bracelet. I really appreciate it.
I'm so happy you liked it. All right, guys, let me know what you think, if you agree with these guys, and please stay tuned for part 2 coming up. And this is Oscar. He's been outside barking. Yeah, right, Oscar? Please share your thoughts with me if you like that list, if there's anyone else you want me to talk about, and yes. Oscar sending kisses to everyone, and please let me know in the comment section if there's anything else you want me to talk about, if you agree with my list, if there's any other male stars that you are wondering how they are, let me know, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.
I think real love is about acceptance and about truth and about vulnerability and then I think in that you know when you really can accept someone for who they are, and that's what real love is.